Welcome back, General Hospital fans. When the writers put her right in the middle of that dangerous situation at Windermere on Spoon Island, I could feel the tension building from my living room. Cullum, that slippery double agent, was clearly desperate. He was trying to slip away with that dangerous cold fusion prototype, using Britt's old work and Liesel's connections to make his escape. I kept thinking to myself, this man has caused so much chaos already. How much more damage could he do if he gets away with a weapon like that? Jocelyn, bless her heart, had to think on her feet. She has come so far from the impulsive teenager we once knew. Her training really showed, and when she finally confronted him, it felt like the payoff we had been waiting for. I'll admit, I was on the edge of my seat wondering if she would make it out safely. Then came the moment that changed everything. Jocelyn took Cullum down for good. It wasn't some clean, easy victory either. It was raw and intense, the kind of scene that reminds me why I've stayed loyal to this show for decades. On one hand, I cheered for her, because she stopped a real threat to Port Charles and beyond. On the other, I immediately worried about what comes next, because actions like that always carry heavy consequences in this town. Sure enough, the trouble didn't end with Cullum's death. Now Jocelyn finds herself in the crosshairs of the PCPD and that dangerous figure, Sidwell. I have to ask, did the writers really need to pile on more pressure so quickly after her triumph? But yes, they did, and it makes perfect sense when you think about it. In a place like Port Charles, stopping a criminal mastermind doesn't always earn you a medal. Sometimes it paints a target on your back. The police are asking questions, and Sidwell seems determined to tie up loose ends. It feels authentic to the show's history of never letting heroes rest for long. What touched me most was Carly stepping in at just the right moment. As a mother myself, I understand that fierce, protective instinct. Carly has made plenty of mistakes over the years, but her love for Jocelyn has always been rock solid. Helping her daughter slip out of the country to avoid the immediate fallout shows a side of Carly we don't always see, the one willing to risk everything for her child. I wonder how this escape will affect their relationship going forward. Will Jocelyn resent needing her mother's help, or will it bring them closer? I suspect it will be a bit of both, knowing these two strong-willed women. Once Jocelyn is safely away, something even more intriguing happens. Brennan reaches out with a new assignment for her overseas. This is where her identity as a full-fledged WSB agent really begins to take shape. I've always believed Jocelyn had the potential to be one of those standout characters who carry the show into the future. And this storyline is proving me right. Being given real responsibility abroad right after such a traumatic event feels like the writers are testing her limits. Will she thrive under pressure? Or will the weight of what she did to Cullum start to haunt her? I lean toward believing she will rise to the occasion, but I also know General Hospital loves to throw in emotional complications that keep us guessing. The shocks keep coming, and that's what I love most about this era of the show. After Cullum's death, the story is expanding in ways that feel fresh, yet true to the soap's roots. The control of dangerous technology, the shifting alliances within the WSB, and the personal cost to Jocelyn, it all creates this perfect storm of drama. I find myself thinking about how different this is from the earlier spy stories we saw with other characters. Jocelyn's journey feels more personal, more grounded in family ties, which makes it hit harder for longtime viewers like me. Some fans might argue that making Jocelyn kill Cullum was too dark for her character at this stage. I disagree. It shows real growth. She isn't just reacting anymore, she's making hard choices with permanent consequences. That's what separates memorable characters from forgettable ones. Of course, I hope the writers handle her guilt and the moral questions thoughtfully. We've seen too many young heroes lose their way after big moments like this. I don't want that for Jocelyn. She has so much potential to become a force for good in Port Charles, even if her methods sometimes push the boundaries. And then there's the looming tension with Z. From what we're seeing, her bravery on Spoon Island has caught his attention in a big way. That could open incredible doors for Jocelyn within the WSB, but it also sets up future conflicts, especially with Carly. I can already picture the fireworks when Z arrives in Port Charles. Two strong personalities like Carly and Z clashing over Jocelyn's future? That's pure gold for longtime viewers. I've been predicting storylines for years, and this one feels particularly promising. As I sit here reflecting on these latest episodes, I'm reminded why General Hospital has endured for so long. It's not just about the big action moments, though they're thrilling. It's about the emotional ripples that follow the way one decision on Spoon Island can upend so many lives. Jocelyn escaping the country, taking on international missions, facing pursuit from both legal and criminal forces, it all builds this incredible momentum. I keep asking myself, how will she balance her new life as an agent with her ties to home? How long before Carly's protectiveness creates problems with Brennan and the WSB? The beauty of it is that the answers are never simple. That's what keeps me coming back week after week. I truly believe we're watching the birth of a new legacy character in Jocelyn. She's stepping out of the shadows of her family's complicated history and carving her own path, even if it's paved with danger and difficult choices. Some days I worry the show moves too fast with these big twists, but then I remember that's exactly what soap operas do best. They keep the story alive and breathing. After Cullum's death, the escalation with Sidwell and the PCPD feels natural, not forced. It raises the stakes beautifully. And having Carly orchestrate the escape adds that perfect layer of maternal drama we've come to expect and love. I've talked with friends my age who watch the show, and we all agree this arc is special. It honors the spy elements that have always been part of General Hospital while centering a younger generation. Jocelyn's story is giving me the same excited feeling I had when I first fell in love with the show all those years ago. There's so much still to unfold. Will Jocelyn complete her overseas mission successfully? How will the authorities back home react to her disappearance? And what role will Z ultimately play in her life mentor, ally, or something more complicated? I can't wait to find out. For now, I'm just grateful the writers are giving us this rich, layered drama that respects both the history and the future of Port Charles. Jocelyn has earned her place as a true heroine in my eyes, even if her heroism comes with a heavy price. That's what makes it real. That's what keeps this old fan watching every chance I get. The heat is definitely on, and I have a feeling the best is yet to come. After Jocelyn took down Cullum in that intense confrontation, I believed she might finally catch a breath. Instead, the consequences exploded in every direction. Now Z is becoming a much larger force in her life, and the complications are multiplying. His attention, which started as admiration for her bravery, has grown into something far more significant. The WSB's role in all of this is expanding dramatically, pulling Jocelyn deeper into their world of secrets and high-stakes operations. I keep asking myself, how much more can this young woman handle? She has already proven herself by stopping a dangerous threat, but now the agency seems ready to reshape her entire future. What fascinates me most is how these new developments create layer upon layer of trouble. The shocks are not stopping at the PCPD investigation or Sidwell's pursuit. Z's involvement brings a whole new level of intensity that feels both exciting and risky. I have seen many powerful figures come and go in Port Charles over the decades, but Z strikes me as someone who could truly change the game for the next generation. His plans for Jocelyn seem ambitious, perhaps even a bit overwhelming for a young agent still finding her footing. On one hand, I am proud of her growth and the way she is stepping into this larger role. On the other, I worry that the WSB's demands might pull her too far away from everything she knows and loves. Carly must be beside herself with concern. As a mother, I understand that protective fire all too well. The idea of Jocelyn being sent on overseas missions right after escaping the country to avoid immediate fallout feels like the writers are accelerating her story into a bold, new phase. This is where things get especially interesting. The crazy changes keep coming, forcing Jocelyn to navigate a path that is far more dangerous and unpredictable than anything she faced before. Her identity as a full WSB operative is no longer just training exercises. It is becoming her reality, complete with moral dilemmas, international intrigue, and the constant shadow of those who want her silenced. I find myself wondering whether Z will truly be a mentor or if his growing influence will create even deeper conflicts. The escalating troubles with him suggest that his presence in Port Charles could spark major confrontations, especially with Carly. Two such strong personalities clashing over Jocelyn's future promises, fireworks that longtime fans like me live for. Will Z push her toward greatness within the agency? Or will his methods create new enemies she is not prepared to face? The story is moving so far now that every episode feels like it carries the weight of major turning points. These latest shocks have taken the WSB storyline to heights I did not anticipate. The control of dangerous technologies, shifting alliances, and the personal cost to Jocelyn all blend together into something truly compelling. It is different from the spy tales we followed with earlier characters because it feels so personal for her. She is not just completing missions. She is walking into a new chapter that will redefine who she is. I believe this phase will test her courage, her loyalty to family, and her own sense of right and wrong. Some might say the writers are moving too quickly, piling on too many complications after Cullum's death, but I disagree. This pace keeps the show vibrant and reminds me why I have remained loyal for so long. As I watch these developments unfold, I cannot help but feel optimistic about Jocelyn's journey even amid the chaos. She has the spirit and training to rise above the troubles, but the road ahead will certainly be bumpy. The role of the WSB is exploding with possibilities, and Z's escalating involvement adds that perfect touch of mystery and tension. I keep thinking about how this will all connect back to Port Charles. How long can Jocelyn stay away before her absence creates new crises at home? What sacrifices will she have to make in this new phase?